What are these?
This is the way I cool down the marbles.
Oh,
This is for cooling.
cooling. Okay.
You're what?
Oh, you are not wrong. Yeah.
So it is my first.
We're gonna make a marble.
Sweet.
We're gonna make a marble that looks something like this one.
Yeah.
It's gonna have clear in the center, then color on either side, and then more clear, and we'll put a twist into it.
Okay.
This type of glass working is called lamp working. Originally it was done on a fat-based lamp, probably using whale oil. And they had a little pump they could pump to make it burn a little bit hotter. I'm running propane oxygen here, so I'm running right around 4,800 degrees into flame right now. The type of glass I'm working is called soda lime glass. It's one of the more popular glasses used in the world. Your drinking ware is made out of it. The windscreen of your car is made out of it. The windows of your house is made out of it. And it has a softening point right around 1400 degrees. So the gather at the end of my rod right now is sitting between 1400 and 1600. And I'm rotating it because gravity is both my friend and my enemy. And if I stop rotating, it'll kind of puddle up on my counter and not make a really nice looking marble.
They're right there.
So there is the center of our marble. Now that glass went from being liquid at 1400 degrees to already being solid. This glass right here is sitting right around 1200 degrees. Believe it or not, we refer to this as cold glass. You got kind of a strange concept of hot and cold. Now the glass I'm working comes from Italy and Germany. This is what I've been using all weekend, all the last couple weeks. What you're seeing right now, little bits of glass popping off, that's called shocking. It's also the reason why we got plexiglass between you and me. I'm used to getting hit by little hot pieces of glass. You guys probably aren't. Now, as I was saying, my glass comes from Italy and Germany in the solid rods like I'm working. Italy makes all my colors, and I get about 125 different shades of opaque and transparent glass. And Germany makes all my clears. So there is our first color on. Now that is actually yellow. It'll go back to this color when it cools down, but as I'm working it, it's going to stay this orangey color. You can watch this rod cool down and see it changing color as I'm working it. The coloration is put into glass by using various metals and salts. For example, they use cobalt to make blue. In case you're ever curious where the term cobalt blue comes from, that's where it comes from. They use copper to make reds and greens. And I've got a really gorgeous pink that's made out of gold. So there's our second color on. Now I'm going to add on the outside glass. Now this is one of the three ways that marbles are manufactured. This is the oldest way. Each marble is made one at a time. No two marbles come out looking identical. I have tried. Marbles you're probably most familiar with are the machine-made marbles that you get in the toy stores right now. Those machines were invented back in the 1920s and came heavy use in the 1930s. Prior to that, all mass-produced marbles were made by hand by something known as the furnace method. Furnace marbles are made by using normal glass blowing equipment, and they would go and get a large gather of glass that had all the colors and stripes they wanted in it. That was maybe about yay big in diameter, about that long. That had two metal punties to that, and have two glass workers walk apart from each other stretching and twisting the glass down to the size marbles they wanted to make. And those guys would typically walk 50 to 60 feet apart. And that resulting glass was called marble stock. And this is a piece of marble stock right there that I made about 7 or 8 years ago. We only went 30 feet on that one.
Start.
The marble stock would then be handed out to marble makers who would heat up the end of the rod and using a tool called the marble shears, round the rod off, cut it off, and drop it into a cast iron bowl they're rocking with their foot to finish the rounding process. Those gentlemen worked 10-hour days, 6 days a week, and would make anywhere from 3,000 to 4,000 marbles a day. On a good day, I do about 8. Now mine are more perfectly round than theirs are, and I can also get all the punny marks off. So there is all the glass I need for my marble. I got the inside glass and I got the outside glass. Now I'm going to put twist into the marble, and I've got a little bit of cracking going on here, so I'm going to switch over to stainless steel punnies. In case you're curious, I do not have asbestos fingers. Neither glass nor stainless steel transmits heat, so I can work within 2.5 inches of molten glass without burning myself. Okay, they're punnied up on the stainless steel. Now to put the twist into it, I need, excuse me, I need a good even heat base. I need some water.
Really dusty out here. And we've been out here for 4 weeks now. Getting all the dust.
Okay, so I need to get a good even heat base, put the twist into it. I'm going to start heating it up. Now letting one of my hands rotate a little bit slower than the other so I know when it's ready to twist. And I'm also watching for a color shift. Now you're seeing a bright yellow corona coming off the glass, and that is the sodium in the glass burning off. It's called soda flare. The glasses I'm wearing are called diidium, and they filter out that soda flare, as well as making it look really cool. So I see what the glass really looks like in the flame. Okay, you can see the glass is nice and toffee-like, and there's our twist. Now start the rounding process. I'm going to take one of the punchies off. In case you're curious, that's just water. It does 3 things. Shocks the glass off onto my punchies, keeps my punchies nice and cool, and I love the sound it makes. Now the first tool I'm going to use for rounding is called gravity. Hopefully everybody understands how gravity works. Glass is a liquid, so it's going to start condensing down on itself. Then I'm going to switch over to something called a marble mold. This is a marble mold, a piece of graphite with 6 hemispheres cut into it. When you buy glass equipment, it does not come with instructions. So you take a look at the marble mold and you go, oh, I saw how the thing works. You get the glass nice and hot, push it in the hole, flip it over, get it nice and hot, and you don't get around molding that way. Now I'm using the bottom of the mold right now to get the initial rounding started. So there's our initial rounding. When I get the final rounding going, I'll show you how the marble mold works, and that way you guys can go home and do this on your stovetops tonight. Everybody laughs when I say that. I'm going to say one. I need to go back and forth between the marble mold and the flame because the graphite pulls a ton of heat out of my glass. And I need to have the glass just hot enough to move, but not hot enough to go mush. Oh, sorry, technical term, mush. See the marble rotating on top of the hole? It's not falling inside the hole. that top edge is the only part of the marble mold that's important. This is my 1 1/4 inch marble mold made out of steel. It's called a ring mold and only has that top edge on it. Both molds work identically to each other. So there we've got the marble about 3/4 of the way being rounded off. So to do the other quarter, I'm going to switch over to a glass punty. I'll let my marble cool down a little bit. I'm adding a little bit of heat to my punty here. Then we're going to take off the other piece of stainless steel. Then we're going to start what I consider the exciting part of the demonstration. Not for you guys, but for me. The two pieces of glass right now are not fused together. They're being held together by something called a cold seal. The marble's at 1200 degrees and the glass rod's at 1400. And if I look at this, and it's the temperature difference holding them together. If we let this get too cold, the marble will pop off, hit my counter, and roll into my lap. Which is also why I'm wearing a leather apron. I'm tired of burning my pants. If I bump this too hard while I'm working it, it will fall off. And as I found out the other day, if you sneeze, it will fall off. There's that technical term, mush. One of the other tools I use in here is my skylights. They cast a nice straight line across the surface of my marble so I can see if I've got any surface imperfections. And there's our almost finished marble.
Yeah.
So we got one small problem right now. It's not going to roll too well. It's got a glass rod connected to it. So take that off. I'm going to come in my marble mold. I'm going to take my trusty butter knife here. Give it a tap. And it comes straight off. And on top of the marble right now is a teeny tiny little flat spot that is called the punny mark. That's where the glass rod was connected. To get the punny mark off, I can come into my flame, give it a little bit of heat. Remember, glass is a liquid. Liquid's like being round. And through surface tension, it pulls itself into a nice round marble. With the tools in the shop, I can get a marble to be within 1/5000 of an inch of being perfectly round. And there's our finished marble.
You don't have to kill those at all?
No, I do have to kiln it, but right now it is cooling down really fast, which is not good for glass. So what I just did was I put into something called Japanese annealing bubbles.